Welcome back to the Cutty and Govy show downtown in Boca Raton. Gorgeous weather, not a cloud in the sky. Today we have a return guest, Ashley Govberg. That was our most popular show of the year. So we thought we'd have her back. She's just back from the Super Bowl.
Yes, I am.
Before we talk about the Super Bowl, on the way over here, there was an executive order Trump signed. Did you see it? Trump is going on Mount Rushmore. He signed an executive order. We're going to go out and start carving the stone next week.
All right. That would be great, wouldn't it?
Absolutely. Anyway, last week we talked about Trump being a gangster. He wants a piece of everything. He wants rare minerals from Ukraine. He wants Canada. He wants
Greenland.
Greenland. So he needs a piece of everything. Anyway, Ashley just came back from the Super Bowl, and we wanted to drill her about some questions about. I didn't understand that halftime show. What was that all about? I mean, was it a personal vendetta between that guy and Drake and the whole thing carrying on? 62 million people watched that game. I like Bruno Mars. I like some of the past halftime shows. That one, it went over my head the whole show.
I hope next year it's a country music star.
That would be great. Chris Stapleton or Jelly Roll. Jelly Roll would be great.
Yeah. I'm not really sure what that halftime show was.
Did you see it, or you were busy running around?
No, I saw it live. I sat in my seat for the whole thing. And you know what? I didn't really enjoy it. Even my kids are big fans of Kendrick Lamar, and they didn't really love it as much. But, I'm not really sure. Every halftime show is a statement. 100% a statement. But I'm not exactly sure what the statement is.
Well, what's his beef, Govy, with Drake? I mean, why does he have a beef with Drake?
I think it has to do with when he says they're not one of us. I think it's because Drake isn't from Compton. He grew up
rich. Didn't he grow
up rich, was bar mitzvah.
Yeah.
So I think it's his way of saying you're not one of us.
Got it.
Like a Compton person or like a real rapper. And then, there was some history with some of the dating. He kind of dissed Serena Williams. That was one of his girlfriends or whatever. So some people are thinking that's why she came back to maybe help. But it was a personal thing. That's not what the Super Bowl should be. Like 62 million people don't have to get involved in their little personal thing. It's sort of like Tupac with Biggie. Mm-hmm. Like those two had a battle, but they didn't take it to the Super Bowl for 62 million people. I mean, I was on a chat thread during the game, and we're like 8 people. Every single one of them was basically saying, does anybody understand a word that's going on here? Does anybody, what was the concept? No one understood the concept. That's so they lost 3/4 of the audience.
Well, there are a lot of hidden messages throughout his performance. I don't know if you caught it on TV, but we all had these wristbands, and they would light up different colors, throughout the whole thing. And so during that halftime show, our wristbands were projecting messages aerial-wise that we couldn't necessarily see, but we could see from aerial views.
Right, I know. It's all computerized. They do that with all these big events.
So we don't really... So there was a lot going on and a lot being said dramatically during this.
I have a mechanical question because I'm watching it on TV and they have the halftime show and Terry Bradshaw and all those. How long does that all take to set up, to change the whole field, that stage? I mean,
8 minutes.
Yeah. Oh my God, they do all that fast?
Yeah. But you talk about controversy and everything. How about the commercial with Kanye West?
He's a whack job. But that guy is crazy.
How did Fox allow that to even go on, though?
I have no idea.
I mean, that's crazy. Do you want to tell everybody what took place?
No, because I'll get censored.
Well, it was just that, that's true. I mean, but it is.
I have my own personal feelings.
Well, there is an AI generated ad to combat that, that's another legal issue that you don't know if you're allowed to. That has a bunch of Jewish actors, celebrities wearing a shirt that has the middle finger saying "F you, Kanye" on it.
It's absolutely crazy. But tell us about, Taylor Swift. You had said something. She had some concerts beforehand.
Well, she had concerts in New Orleans, and our Uber driver actually told us that the city was crazier when she was there
Then for the Super
than
Bowl.
for the Super Bowl. And the Super Bowl, pretty much, she had a 3-night concert run, and everybody came in on the same, like, Super Bowl was pretty much a 3-day weekend.
Right.
Like, everyone, even hotels, it was like, you're here for the duration of the stay. But she, blew New Orleans out. But then when she came to the stadium and everybody showed her, the whole entire stadium booed her.
So
We were Eagle fans, so
yeah, we had this controversy.
There were a lot of the
that's what-
majority of the stadium was a boo.
So we talked about that the week before. What percentage of that stadium was Eagles fans? More than half?
Yeah.
So Eagles were were the home team.
I feel like there was more green than red.
Yeah.
Even the Kansas City 50-yard line, the first half was red and the entire second half was all green.
That's funny.
Yeah.
You know what Taylor Swift does offer that the Super Bowl doesn't is if she does 3 nights, no one's really buying the tickets for all 3 nights of the
Correct.
price. So it's like you got 80,000 people coming, then all of a sudden there's an off day, 80,000 the next day. So you're really taking in 240,000 people with all the different hotel rooms rather than just one game.
Right. These
So-
were the same people for 3 days all
Right.
throughout New Orleans.
And they're just jockeying them in and out where
Mhm.
it brings in much more money to New Orleans.
So I couldn't feel how the stadium was. I was at a Super Bowl party. Actually, at the house we did the first show with you at.
Yeah, okay.
I was at a Super Bowl party there. But was it like a Morgan there the first half when the Eagles were just crushing them? Were the Kansas City fans just demoralized? Did they feel like it was over for them? What was halftime? And it was like 24-0 or 24-6?
24-0.
I think everybody on the Eagles side was just so impressed with how they were playing
Right.
and that there was no points on the board. So the energy there, of course, Kansas City was going to be defeated. Like they didn't show up. It felt like.
I mean,
so it was just, it was really an Eagle energy vibe the first half.
but that first call, like right at the beginning against the
That
Eagles,
was unbelievable.
That was unbelievable. I said,
how did they have a bad call on the very first?
I said, we're done.
It's the NFL. There's bad
Well,
calls
they-
all
but
the
there was
time
so
lately.
there was so much scrutiny on Kansas City getting these breaks that on the very first call, you would think that Roger Goodell would say, just be aces back to back on this one. Don't make it where it's like, and they did. And everybody at home sat there and said, wow, even the people in the booth, they have a referee in the booth.
Yep.
Every single person in the booth and the referee said, horrible call.
See, that's the one thing I missed. You couldn't hear the commentators.
Right.
Like
They
you
have the-
couldn't
they
hear
have a
what they were
referee.
saying, what we were watching.
They're saying how does that happen? It's like
Mhm.
basically, so you're already you're, and then by the way, the referees made up some bad calls that went against Kansas City to make up for that. They really did.
So is Roger Goodell in charge of who the halftime show is? I mean, is that under
Yes.
his where is this guy's head?
Well, Kamala Harris, they thought was going to be the president of the United States. So when they chose Kendrick Lamar, they chose him
he
in
always
August.
brings it right back to
Well, they chose him in
Joe
August.
Biden.
But he also just won a lot of Grammys. Like it made sense that he would have
He
been
did.
an
He won his
entertainer.
Grammys.
He
He
won
won
six
his-
Grammys.
But I'm saying
He won
it
them
made
2
sense.
weeks earlier.
Yeah, but I'm saying that it made
No.
sense that he would have been one of those people that would have been considered for the halftime show. I just think he didn't perform to the level people thought he
All
would.
right, 3 days before the Super Bowl, they took out behind the end zone something with racism.
Yeah.
Something with racism. Like they took that out. Do you know why they took that out? Because Donald Trump said, I'm coming to the Super Bowl. And they already knew that Kendrick Lamar was the halftime thing. And Roger Goodell saying the first time ever that a United States president is showing there. Like, that's like he just wanted it to probably make it as easy as possible. Enough with the racism, trying to unite the country rather than why should that be there?
Right.
Well, that's a question I wanted to ask you. Okay, so Donald Trump decides to go to the Super Bowl the day before, and he sits in the owner's box and takes 14 seats. Where are the 14 people that have waited 3 months to go to the Super Bowl and think they're going to sit in the owner's box? Where the hell did they go?
How did they break the news to them?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, Govy. I know that you've been bringing your kids and, they're all excited for the Super Bowl and you're a big shot. You're sitting with the owner with your $400 million now from your NVIDIA stock. And now all of a sudden you have to get tossed out of the box.
Well, no, those 14 people probably just stood.
I don't
In that
think so.
box?
But no, because Trump was in and out. He didn't stay the whole time.
Oh, I thought he was
No,
there.
no, he was gone.
Oh, so it was like a photo shoot.
No,
They all-
he came. He went on the field with all the servicemen.
Right, but he
did
sat
all that,
down for how
and
long?
Probably half of a quarter.
Right, so someone stood up and got like a drink, and then they got
And
their
they
seats
met
back.
the president. That's
Right.
kind of cool.
Right.
So nobody, I don't believe anybody actually lost their seats. I believe he brought an entourage in, and then they were gone. I mean, he was back here by midnight.
How about the fact that the guy
I know
goes out on the field? They just tried to shoot him twice.
Right.
He goes to the Super Bowl. Do you think when you went in there, did you have to go through a scanning thing?
We had to go through Secret Service.
Oh, you had to
Mhm.
do that.
But I have
and-
to tell you, I felt so safe in New Orleans.
Really?
There was military
Everywhere.
and cops everywhere.
Wow.
In the French Quarter, no matter where you went, walking down the street just to enter the Superdome.
Do you know where he's going this week?
Where?
Daytona 500.
This guy's a monster.
He's
He's a
going to the-
gangster, man.
But that's his crowd, though. Daytona 500
yeah,
is
yeah,
his
yeah,
crowd.
yeah, that's
Florida,
a country western
that's-
crowd.
they're
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
roar.
yeah.
That city's
SEC
gonna
crowd.
roar.
I mean, how much
It's like
did
a
the crowd
UFC crowd.
celebrate when he was there? Did they
Oh,
get
the crowd like went into a roar in the middle of the national anthem.
right?
Did you hear him booing Taylor Swift? Could you hear
Mhm.
that? Oh, you
She was
could-
right above us.
Oh,
Her
wow.
and him.
They
Their,
wanted to- she
their
wanted to know what-
boxes were above Lee.
She wanted to know what was happening. She's never been booed before, but she was an
laughed
Eagles.
it off.
Yeah, she was an Eagles fan. I just want you to know one of her
Her
songs.
father's an Eagles fan.
Right, was.
Right.
And she
I
has a
think he still
song.
is.
She has a song that says, "I have my Eagles jersey on my doorknob." You know, like as part of her song. So
My prediction now that Travis Kelsey lost, they break up.
they're not breaking.
It's
up.
over. They're breaking up. That's my prediction.
But your
Gabby.
other prediction,
You said he was gonna get down on bended knee and
Perhaps if he had won.
and propose to her. Travis, let me tell you, there's a place that you can go buy a ring, a big ring. Call me, I'll tell you where to get it.
you have another one that was just took place. That was how about a Kennedy? RFK is now in a Republican's cabinet.
Did he get approved?
Yeah.
Got
Yes.
approved.
Yes.
Now,
today.
Wow.
How about a Kennedy and Tulsi Gabbard?
Mhm.
And there's only one person that voted against Tulsi, Pete Hegseth, and Kennedy. One Republican. Do you know who that was?
Mitch Morgan.
No,
No,
no.
no.
Mitch,
Edit that.
Mitch McConnell. Mitch is the you're thinking of the owner of the
JP
Washington
Morgan.
Redskins.
No, I'm thinking of JP Morgan.
Okay, but by the way, Mitch McConnell.
Right.
Now, what's with that? I mean, what's with
I
this guy?
think-
He's 80 some years
Yeah,
old.
I think 10 years ago he was shot. I think that he's just gone.
Do you think he even knows like what's really
I
doing?
would imagine he has a staff, but I mean, I just think he hates Trump so much that he's just trying to,
But
kill
he's the
guy.
only one, so he knows it was going to go through, so he did it anyway. So it's like he's sending a personal message.
But I want to talk about Trump because we talked about this a little. When Joe Biden pardoned all those people, Joe Biden thought he was outsmarting Trump because he thought Trump was going to go after Adam Schiff and all these people individually. He didn't understand Donald Trump was to wreck the entire Democratic Party. That's his goal. He's tariffing the world, and he's going to wreck the entire party. He's going to go after Elizabeth Warren. How could she be worth $12 million when she made $200,000 a year her whole career? Is she a great saver or a great investor? I mean, it's unbelievable what he's doing to this party.
Well, he's catching them all in a lie. Like today, she got up there and she took some questions from these reporters, and these reporters are now a little equal. They're not like it's like and they said you took money from pharmaceutical companies, and she denied it. But all of a sudden they're fact checking and they're realizing she took millions from pharmaceutical companies. So they never realized that the hunted is now the hunter. And he's going after, look at Letitia James, look at Hochul. They're suing him.
What's that expression? Those who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones.
Yeah,
She's been throwing stones for a long time.
yeah.
They're coming after her. But how about that press secretary, that Carolyn Levitt? I don't think she's a real person. I think she's an AI robot. Do you hear
Can
her
you imagine
answers?
she has all
She's
that
like,
stuff in her head?
oh my God.
She never has notes.
She's 27.
She never has notes. It's amazes
Right.
me.
And in every sentence, she says, "Well, we have the greatest president in America," and she has that Mr. President thing down like crazy.
Well,
She's like an AI robot.
You know what you like? You like when, like you say, he runs things like a mob guy. Do you like that when Bibi was sitting next to him and he says to Bibi, "Who's the best friend to Israel?" Like, he puts him on the spot. Like, what's Bibi supposed to say?
Who's the best president ever that Israel ever saw? Well,
But
let's see.
who
Herbert
actually
Hoover.
sits there and calls him BB on a national world stage?
Right.
I mean, it just shows you
Right.
the relationship they have.
Right. Well, who gives someone a gold beeper? As like could you imagine? BB gives him a gold beeper to say,
Like, do
there
you
we
think
go.
the Secret Service had to check the beeper out to make sure there's
Yeah,
nothing
I'm
in
sure.
it?
Yeah.
I'm sure.
But I mean, how about this Elon Musk? He's in the Oval Office. He's wearing a hat. He has his kid on his shoulder for like an hour press conference yesterday.
I thought it was funny when the kid sat on the floor. He was sick of standing.
You know what?
He
You know
just
what
sat on
Musk
the
told?
floor.
You know what Musk told his kid X? They were making fun of his name. Like, Whoopi Goldberg made fun of this kid's name, and she has the name Whoopi. But you know what Musk told his kid when he was picking his nose? Flick it on Rachel, the girl from ABC News. Pick that nose and flick it at that
I was
reporter.
waiting for it
That
to
would've
wipe it
been
on
great to-
Trump's suit.
But if he was picking his nose and he flicked his boogie, now wouldn't that have been great? Rachel Scott of ABC News should have gotten it.
Well, over at the golf course, the lunchroom, you're not allowed to wear a hat. Even Donald Trump takes his hat off every time he walks in that
So
room.
you shouldn't never
And
wear
his
a hat
hair-
inside.
Yeah, his hair is always pushed down, from taking the hat off. It's like crushed down. But he does have hair. He does have a full head of hair. Like, I see him sitting at that desk and Elon Musk is next to him wearing that hat. And I'm sure Trump is seething. I mean, he's sitting there. He can't be happy about it.
But you know what he is happy about? That when Musk gets up there and he says to the country, and if I think I'm pretty good politic-wise, like a little bit of a geek, when he says, do you know there's a limestone mine in Pennsylvania that's basically was from 1954, and that's how we're still doing everything by hand for a retire. I didn't know about that. They're now down there. All the reporters are there right now showing you this mine. They have their own fire company down there, restaurants. You got thousands of workers working 300 feet below the ground, like working by hand. They also said that a floppy disk, they use a floppy disk rather than one of those, what are those things that go into the computer now?
CDs.
Uh,
Zip drives.
yeah, a zip drive. They would need 32 million floppy disks for one zip drive that they have. It's bizarre that they're so far. So here's a guy, they said 3 other presidents tried to maybe see if they could fix this. Here's Elon Musk says, I can do it. I can bring you up to speed. What? That's genius.
Well, they pissed off the wrong psychotic guy on a spectrum. I mean, they went after Elon Musk forever, and now he has all this control. I mean, all these people are in trouble. I mean, he's digging and digging and digging. He's going to find a lot of stuff.
And he has X to basically put everything up there. I mean,
right. Now, do you have a problem with the fact that Secret Service or the military just gave Tesla a $400 million contract for Tesla trucks?
No.
You don't have a problem with that?
No.
They're like little armored vehicles. I
Yeah,
feel
it's
like.
armored. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Who do you want to give them to?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's like the guy has put himself in a very conflicted spot.
But I look at it as like Israeli army use Mercedes G-Wagons. I mean, it's the same sort of idea
But
to turn a car into a military vehicle.
Yeah, but where do you draw the line between what he's doing for the government and his private business? He's negotiating, he's beating everybody up, he's chopping away, but yet, he's getting a $400 million contract.
Well, let me ask you a question. That's a $400 million contract. What happens if he says, my new price to rescue these astronauts is $1 billion? Otherwise, you
He
get
could
them down.
ask what, right.
So it's cheap. I mean, you can't say I need him for something, but I don't need him for something else. Figure out a way to put astronauts up on space without using Elon Musk, and then.
Well, I think the next thing they should task him with is getting eggs under $8 a dozen. You think you can fix that?
I found that.
Yeah, what's
in,
that?
in
What is
Pennsylvania, I can find eggs under $8
Really?
a dozen if I found them for $5.99.
So I'm in the Whole Foods yesterday, and I never bought a dozen eggs in my life. So I said, "Where are the eggs? I want to," because what? No, I tell every look. I'm a podcast superstar and a best-selling author. I tell the little girl at the Whole Foods, I'm a celebrity
Right.
here. Obviously, you don't
Gotta start
recognize
somewhere.
me. Yeah. So she says they're over there. So I walk over there, and the case is completely empty.
Yeah.
There's not even a dozen eggs in
Right.
there. There's none.
Right.
I mean, it's shocking. I didn't realize. I don't really eat eggs. I didn't realize it's such a popular item.
Well,
I mean,
you do need it for
your
bacon.
It's
kids,
a basic.
your
It's a
kids-
basic item.
your kids eat eggs in the morning? Or
My
s-
kids don't really eat breakfast, but yes, one of my kids eats
How about for
eggs.
pasta? For pasta, for baking,
For anything.
for anything.
I guess so. Yeah, I didn't even think about it that way. I'm just thinking about eggs in the morning.
No.
All
so
your
much
items.
more.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the
dough
bird
and-
flu is killing all that.
Yeah, I don't understand why Elon can't fix the bird flu, or we get Fauci back to fix the bird flu.
Well, why can't Bill Gates with his he had his that burger that he made out of a plant-based burger? Why can't they come out with a plant-based egg?
Right. But they say this bird flu can't move into a person. It's strictly for these birds. But
Yeah,
they
but it moved to cows.
did it?
Yeah.
Oh, so what's that mean? Meat's going to go up
Well,
too?
but it's moving, not to humans, but it is moving between animals.
Wow, that's kind of scary.
So the other thing is, Gaza's Hamas said today they will release the hostages as scheduled on Saturday.
Really?
Yeah,
They only have 48 hours left, right?
yeah, they said they're doing it. They're
How many of them are alive?
Trump said they have to be alive. These ones that are going.
When are they going to bring them back to life?
No, meaning like they have to be alive.
Trump. There's hell to pay if they're not alive. I mean, what if they're dead? I think if they're
I
going to
think they have a
release
couple
them,
more. I think they have at least 10 that are still alive.
they're feeding them steak and potatoes right now and fattening them up for till Saturday.
Well, they said that the guy from Fogel from Russia, they took him out for 10 days before he was released, and they fed him, gave him a haircut. They tried to make him look,
Put on some makeup.
yeah.
So, what's your theory behind that, Govy? Why do you think all of a sudden the world is doing all this for Trump? I mean, the hostages are coming out. This guy Fogel from Russia comes out. These people have been
4
prisoners
from
for years.
Belarus, 4 from Venezuela. I mean, every day he wakes up, people are now throwing our prisoners back. I mean,
And everybody's
it's like,
leaving
here's
the
another
country.
prisoner. We have prisoners, we don't even know how many we have. I mean, pretty soon, North Vietnam's going to release some guys, and we're not even asking yet.
Right. Biden was used to paying $6 billion for 6 prisoners. Now people are paying Trump. Here's the prisoners. We'll give you $6 billion. Take them.
You know what's funny? When they try to catch Donald Trump in a got you moment. So on CNN last night, Dana Bash is interviewing the ambassador to Belarus and this other woman there. And she's saying this prisoner exchange that we got him. There was no exchange. They said, what did Donald Trump have to give to get these prisoners back? And the ambassador goes, nothing. And Dana Bash says, come on. They had to give something. And the woman that was next to him says, I've been working for 4 years trying to get these prisoners out. 4 years, there was no movement. And finally, they said, we want to show good faith. Nothing. Here it is. They want to now set the record straight. They want to start new. Now, she couldn't believe it. She thought she was going to get him. And now they're just turning over people for zero.
It's unbelievable. He's threatening the world and they're all falling in line.
But what was interesting is his guy, Steve Witkoff, who went to Russia on Hannity last night. He said, did you meet personally with Putin? Because he didn't know. When he was going there, he thought it was 50-50 if he would be able to get Fogel back. And Witkoff was caught off guard with the question. He says, I can't answer that question.
So if you can meet with Putin, wouldn't you be afraid to go into Russia and actually that you may never get out?
No, I think it's an unbelievable thing to see probably one of the most powerful guys in the world.
Yeah, but they must have said, Whitcuff, make sure you don't have any dope in your pockets because you're gonna get stuck here for a long time.
I think he went home with some good shot
Make
of
sure
rum.
you didn't go to a medical marijuana place down in
Yeah,
Florida
he just
before.
brought the vodka home.
But what it exposed though was this guy should have been released before that Brittany Grenier.
Well, of course.
And we gave up an arms assassin for her, and
Right.
this guy we gave up a
but
guy
she
that did
was a
crypto.
celebrity. It was a whole movement for her. You know, this guy got.
It wasn't just a celebrity; she was a black basketball player woman, and that was the reason. That's not. But
A DEI?
Yeah,
Was it a DEI hostage?
a DEI. Yeah, she was a DEI hostage.
Did you see Disney now did away with DEI?
Yeah.
The Disney company, which is woke and all that stuff with DeSantis, remember all that stuff at the beginning of the year, last year? They just gave up their DEI initiative. That is huge.
Do you see the cartoons that are now coming back that are?
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy.
I think it's great. I like all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it was.
Do you think All in the Family could be on TV today?
Do you think Aunt Jemima will come back?
Maybe.
You got to realize something.
It's
during
marketing. It's good marketing.
during that marketing, it wasn't just her. Uncle Ben's rice.
Yes.
They changed all of that. Like
all the pictures on the
But
boxes.
that's like a Southern thing too. I mean,
it was done for.
Was it a racist thing? You think?
Yeah, well, look at Uncle Ben's rice.
I don't think it was intentionally done as that. I think it was made out to be through all this.
I always looked at them as great, chefs and cooks, and I didn't.
It's just a staple growing up. It was like a household name.
I didn't look at it in any offensive way. So, Govy, we don't have any football to talk about anymore. What are we going to talk about? We don't want to talk about the New York Knicks.
No, but I will. I will say.
We don't want to talk about the Sixers.
I will say one thing though. I do like when there's people now that control the mainstream media. Like these younger kids. Like one of Musk has hired like over 100 people right now that are like these geniuses that are turning around. So one guy changed his name. His handle's name is Big Balls. So he has mainstream media calling him Big Balls during the thing, and like they were making fun of it and then making fun of the guy. So he changes his name 3 days later to Hairy Balls, and now he has mainstream media calling Hairy Balls and Big Balls, and it's really pretty funny how they're manipulating the media, and they're all laughing at the mainstream media to hear them say these names.
Well, I like Carolyn Levitt when they ask her the questions. Well, why isn't so and so allowed in the Oval Office for the press conference? And she said, it's a privilege to go into the Oval Office, and we're going to invite whoever we want. I mean, Trump is just a gangster.
Well, the AP refused to acknowledge that the Gulf of America, they still say it's the Gulf of Mexico. They said, you've now lost your seat at the Pentagon.
That is crazy.
You're gone. Like, AP is out. Like, because they didn't recognize it. Like, Apple did, Google did, AP, you're gone.
You're gone. 50 years out.
Somebody has to say to that person there, why did you have to, rest your sword, lie on your sword for that?
Well, don't you think that people from CNN and everything are intimidated now when they ask the question? They're afraid you're going to hear back from the president. You're stupid. You're an idiot. How could you ask a question like that? I think because he's different now. He's either on Wellbutrin or he knows he can't get reelected. He just says whatever he wants now.
Why? You know what? Why is it that his popularity has grown with the young kids from 18 to 35?
Because he's like Larry David. He speaks whatever's on his mind. He just says whatever he wants to say.
Right.
He doesn't care.
And I tell you what, he's approachable. People look at him as he's a normal guy. I mean, even when he hires Pete Hegseth to run the department, the Secretary of Defense. And this guy's working out with the guys at 5 o'clock in the morning, and the whole Fort Bragg, which he changed the name to back to Fort Bragg from Fort Liberty, and all of a sudden these kids are now taking a picture with the guy who is top dog in our whole military. It's a huge honor for them to take a picture with someone higher than the generals.
So you heard when he said that they asked him, or are you going to support J.D. Vance for president? What was his response?
He can't commit yet.
He can't commit yet. So if he's not going to commit to J.D. Vance and he has Marco Rubio and he has Pete Hegseth, who's a good-looking guy. Do you think he's a good-looking guy? The Secretary of Defense? Yeah, he's like a Navy SEAL kind of guy.
Well, he
He's
was,
kind of built like
Fox News
Govy and
guy.
I.
They all
Yeah,
had
he's like
swagger.
he's built like Govy and I. And then you have Marco Rubio with the big ears Rubio. I mean, I think he's going to play. This is what he does. He's going to play all these people against each other to audition for the next president of the United States.
Sort of like The Apprentice.
Yeah.
Well, but you never know. He's asking to have a third term.
But
So nobody's going to put their.
he won't.
Nobody's going to actually say anything at this. It's too early.
But I
I
think
mean, we're not even 100 days in.
But I have no problem with him letting because they're all young. Let them all kind of battle it out to see it. Why does he need to say anything now? You have 3.5 years to see how great it is.
Look, Mike Pence made it good until the last day, and he screwed up the last day. I mean, he was a choir boy for the entire time.
So, how do you feel about the Trump women like Ivanka? They still like? Do you like that she showed up at the Super Bowl?
I don't know. I think that her loyalty wasn't there January 7th, 4 years ago.
It's
She
his
ran,
daughter.
Yeah, he ran to Florida. Now she wasn't on the campaign trail. She didn't put the time in to get him reelected. I don't like the fact that she's jumping back in.
Why not?
I know. Because she didn't put the time in the campaign trail. She could have done a lot to help him with the suburban moms. She has young children, 3 kids. She could have done a lot
It was
more.
crazy times.
And who knows? There could have been a reason she took a step back. And maybe now it's time for her to step up.
Yeah, maybe security for her kids. Maybe she wanted it to see what was going to happen to shake out.
Well,
I like all the Trump women.
And I think Lara stepped up over these years.
I like her too.
And I think she's great.
I'm just curious, though. Usually a lot of these people like to hide their children. They don't want the press to see what the kids look like for security reasons. Yet, Lara Trump and Ivanka Trump are bringing their kids out full frontal all the time and having them shown. Like there were a lot of Instagram clips this week with Trump in the presidential limousine with his grandson. Now, I don't know why they're doing that. Is it to make him more human, or that he's a grandpop, or?
I don't know. Barron
think
Trump
it's
isn't out there
nice.
as much. He could. If I was Barron Trump, I'd be everywhere. Like seriously, if I was Barron Trump, I would be at NYU. I would be asking so many girls to get on Marine One. Where do you want to
He
go?
might be.
White House.
I don't really
White
think-
House.
I
You want to
don't
go to
really think
Mar-a-Lago?
that's him.
I mean, I would want to be Barron Trump for like a week.
Yes,
Like,
but
seriously.
but those kids were never like partiers. The Trump kids were never like.
No, you know what Barron Trump's doing? He got 3 friends from high school together. They're like developing golf courses in Utah right now.
Right.
But if I was Barron Trump, seriously,
He's entertaining up at Trump Tower,
when could you be 18 years old, having Marine One waiting for you, take you right there, no
I don't
traffic?
even think his mother would allow it.
Yes, he would.
I don't think so. I really don't. I don't think his mother would allow that. I think she wants him to
Could you imagine your son? What would he be doing?
My
It would be
son
your
would
son.
be-
my
my son would
nephew,
be
Coop
partying
Boy,
it up.
he'd
He'd be like, I need Air Force
No,
One
he would
myself.
say, how many people does Marine One hold? Because I got a lot of people. I think we might
He'd be
need.
like, could we get a second one?
Yeah, I mean, Marine One isn't big enough for all the people that are coming to the White House.
That'd be so true.
So do you think Barron Trump, it's like that Rodney Dangerfield movie Back to School? They redid the dorm room for him and everything, and he has a luxurious
I
secure
thought he was living at the apartment. I didn't know he was living
Yeah,
on campus.
he's living at
He's
Trump.
living at Trump Tower.
how's
But
he get
come
the-
on, you can,
And I think because of security
Yeah,
reason, and I
probably.
think his mom I think his mother is very protective of him.
But
I
Cutty,
really do.
all Barron has to say is, what restaurant do you want to go to? I'll make a phone call. I'll take over the back room. I got the whole back room, Secret Service and everything.
He just makes a phone call. The chef probably just comes to Trump Tower
Yeah,
and cooks
I
for him.
mean,
He doesn't need the
why
back
aren't you
room.
reading about what this kid can do? He's 6'7", good-looking kid. I mean,
Well, he's probably doing it. Remember Obama's kids, those 2 girls, they were pretty wild. And then Bush's kids, those 2 girls were pretty wild.
But where are Obama's kids? I mean,
I think
Bush's
one's in-
girls got. I mean, one's an anchor. The other
Right.
one writes books. But
I think one's in Harvard, right?
No,
they're
she
still-
graduated
I
Harvard.
was going to
She
say,
graduated Harvard
they
10
have
years
to be
ago.
out of college,
Yeah.
right? They have to
Hey,
have a
come
job.
on.
They're in Hawaii with Michelle, I
Yeah.
guess.
I mean, come on. Barron's in college right now.
Yeah.
Oh God, this is crazy. Anyway, folks, what else you got, Govy? Our clock is burning up.
Well, we had my brother and my sister-in-law came down. I told them that the weather has been unbelievable. Is this
They
not?
both have great tans.
I told them to
They're
stay an
looking
extra
great.
2 days, and here they are.
Yes, we are.
Here they are.
When are you guys headed north?
Sunday.
So the weather I see on TV in Washington, there's snow. Is there snow in Philadelphia now?
We had a little bit of snow. Yes, we have been having a snowy winter.
So do we know what the ground Puxatawny Phil did? How many more?
6 more weeks of winter.
Oh, 6 more weeks of winter. All right.
Yes.
Has it been a long winter? I don't know.
It
We
has
have
been a
such-
long winter up
we have
north.
s-
It has been very cold, a
Look at
lot
this
of
weather.
snow. Yeah.
Is this your last trip, or you'll come back one more time?
Oh no, you're
No, we'll be
coming.
back. We'll be back on and off for the next.
She's Miss
couple
Boca.
months.
Are you kidding me? She loves it
I
here.
do.
Loves it here.
I do.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, the
My
traffic
second
of the
home.
last couple of weeks has been brutal, hasn't it?
Traffic has been.
Oh my God.
This week, traffic has been brutal.
Cuddy,
It's-
when was the last time you were in a city's traffic? Like
Oh
this
my
is
God.
nothing compared to being in
Wait a second.
this
It
is
took
not
me
like
an
New
hour and a
York
half.
or
It
Schuylkill
took me-
Expressway.
It took me an hour and a half to get to Palm Beach last night. I left my house at 5 o'clock. I didn't get to Palm Beach till 6:30.
Well,
Oh,
995.
95?
Wow.
Yeah, it was bumper to bumper, and it's normally like a 25-minute ride.
Even on the express lane?
Well, that costs money. You're not aware that Govy gets 80% of the profit of this show. I only get 20%. I tried to renegotiate in January.
I
He
told
said
him
no.
he could take.
I guess you guys better get a
I
new,
told him he
another
could take
sponsor.
He drove me somewhere. I said, "Get on the Easy Pass." He goes, "It's $7." So we
No,
were-
It's the best thing that
I need
ever
a
happened.
raise. I need a raise. I tried to renegotiate. He said maybe next year.
well,
So, that's the way it's going to be.
I just want to go for one request that I would like. I would like some of these tariffs that are going into place on some of these companies. I would like Trump to look at some of the companies that are made like 70%, 80% in the United States. Like, for instance, I think Corona beer should get a pass. If they raise the tariff, I don't think you should put a tariff on Corona beer since 80% is made in the United States. I think he should get a pass.
Well, I think he should get a pass for also another reason. And the other reason is his main competitor is a Danish company or a Dutch company.
Right.
So why are you awarding more business to a company outside of America?
InBev, which is
InBev,
Budweiser. Right.
It should be the American company has the foothold.
Right. I think Corona and I think Constellation Brand shouldn't be
Right,
penalized.
Modelo. They have
Mm.
Modelo,
Modelo,
too.
mhm.
They have Casa Noble, the great tequila.
Yeah, they should be getting the pass.
By the
Make-
way,
make a phone call.
Constellation, if you want to sponsor our show next week, we're happy to
Right.
take money
Make a
from
phone
you.
call and make it happen.
Anyway,
All right.
folks, thank you so much for coming into our living room today. We had the great Ashley Govberg here as a guest, and hopefully she'll come back one more time before the end of the season, before the no-see-em come out and it gets to be 112 degrees down here. But maybe we'll go to Gavi's house in the Hamptons this summer and we'll do our show.
You
up
already
there.
have me getting the house. But I do want to say Nvidia's up $4 today.
Oh, Gavi, it's like I'm getting exhausted counting your money here, All right, folks, have a great week.
See ya.
See ya.
'Cause I'm only